Fun. Hello, everyone. My name is Rebecca Gallagher. I am the executive director of the Poconos VRO, and I am excited to introduce our latest Lightning Chat participant, and that is Jenny Snow. We're excited to have Jenny on board. She wears a couple of different hats in this world, all of which are relevant to everyone. She is the Airbnb volunteer community leader. She is also a short-term rental property manager and co-host. And thirdly, she is a real estate agent who focuses entirely on short-term rental properties. So she definitely has the expertise to speak on this subject today, which is the top 3 mistakes Pocono hosts are still making. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Jenny. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to talk about this subject because I deal with it every single day. So let's shed some light on it. Let's go through it real quick and let's see what we can learn. So, about me, I am the Airbnb volunteer community leader for Monroe County and the surrounding 8 counties. I've been a host since 2017 and loving every minute of it. And I have scaled from hosting my own home to managing over 30 properties in the past 6 years in total that I've been doing this. And this is just a little blurb, my info. If you went on Airbnb and found me, this is what you would see. So let's dive into it. The first mistake that absolutely drives me crazy is expecting expecting the cleaners who are there to do just regular turnovers in between guests to be doing deep cleans. So, a few of the items that are on the cleaners list during a quick, we call them back to back. So, on a back to back, the cleaners come in and they are on a time crunch. So, here's a couple examples of what they're going to be doing to reset, refresh, sanitize the house in between guests. But that does not include these items here. So, this is the baseboards, the appliances. These are big items that take an hour at least to get done. Dusting fans, or heaven forbid you allow pets and there's a mess that needs to get cleaned up. It can get cleaned up quickly, but it's not going to get steam cleaned fresh and new. So the easiest, quickest fix for this that I've found is that if you schedule a monthly deep clean for your interior and you have rotating action items, specifically, I like to each month assign a room. So in January, we'll do the kitchen, we'll pull out the appliances and baseboards and degrease whatever needs to get degreased. And each month we'll go through bedrooms and bathrooms and the game room, or just for the interior, we'll do that monthly. And then outside, you absolutely have to schedule your quarterly maintenance cleans, and that's your HVAC cleaning or your chimney sweeping and your gutters getting cleaned out. So this alone resolves 90% of the recurring review issues that I see. So just taking a little bit of time and a little bit of money, because it's going to be an add-on cleaning. But if you just add one extra cleaning a month, 90% of your review issues, that's a fantastic downslide. So resolving 90% of your issues just by scheduling one extra clean, it can't get any easier than that. And then the second one, and I see this a lot with investors or folks who have purchased maybe at a higher price point. So their mortgage is higher. They're really focused on, I need to make this amount for my mortgage, this amount for the utilities, this, they have it all bulleted out. But the truth is that the guests don't care about what you need to take home to pay your bills. What they truly care about is the value for the price. So if you need to make a certain amount of money, then we need to add on some extras. But some of the pricing mistakes I still see constantly is the static year-round pricing with no change during the seasons or when there's a big event happening. I also see only adjusting your rates for the weekend. So that's the tiniest step up from static. It's just a difference between weekday and weekend. Also, this is a big one, comparing yourself to the wrong comps. So you can't just say, well, the house down the street, we're in the same development. They're getting X amount per night, and so should I. But do you have a hot tub like they do, or a full game room like they do, or an EV charger, or an outdoor kitchen? So you need to make sure that not only is it in your area, what you're comparing yourself to, but that it has the same amenities and it's in the same condition or styled the same. You really need to be very closely comparable if you're going to be trying to see what you should price yourself at. I call Airbnb smart pricing the race to the bottom. I feel like, and this has been backed, Airbnb looks at the value. So they'll add up every single amenity that you have listed and they'll compare it to who's next to you. They'll look at the total value and they will cut it by a percentage. So this smart pricing really is to give the consumer the biggest value. So, in theory, it's the race to the bottom, which is not a good business plan. And then refusing to pivot, even when the booking pace is slow. So, we do hear that there's the slow season, which is after the snow melts, but the trails are too muddy, can't go out and hang out in the forest yet, or when the summer's over and the ski mountains aren't open yet. So in those areas, some hosts are seeing tremendous success pivoting into book clubs on weeknights or bridal showers or baby showers, different events that utilize a large kitchen or living room area, and they don't need to stay the night. So there are ways that you can use these assets that are making you money to make you even more money, even when the booking is slow. And the third mistake that I see all the time is hosts underestimating what the guests are looking for. We can't we can't come into this just putting things in a room and taking some pictures. Every single facet of your Airbnb needs to shine, not just the description and the pictures that they see online, but when they show up. What is the feeling that it gives them? What does it smell like? There are so many different questions and so many different things that the guests are looking at that you also need to keep in mind or be aware of. So, here are a few of the things that guests have consistently rated as high on their list of what makes an amazing stay. And it's funny because one thing that guests say that they like is the smell of bleach. So, I know a lot of hosts that only use white towels and white bedding because they get reviews that say, when I smell that it's been bleached, I'm good. I know it's clean. I'm comfortable. So, here are a few things that guests are really looking for. But the number one expectation is that they have an experience that feels elevated. They just think about what's going on in the economy with inflation today. So many consumers are getting less product for the same amount of money. So let's be the hosts that give them just a little bit more, or maybe a lot more. And we make the space feel elevated, tiny little touches. It doesn't have to be full of tchotchkes. You don't have to go overboard. This doesn't have to be a 100-hour-a-week job. Just clean, Instagrammable, at least one spot that they can take pictures in front of, and it feels aesthetic and calming. Just good water pressure, clean shower heads, high quality towels that are clean, bedding that smells clean, that is nice and fluffy, that they are excited to go to sleep on. And then just smart layouts, something that's just a little bit more than what they have at home. That's what they're really looking for, and that's where they find the most value. So I want you to keep in mind that guests are comparing you to listings that look and feel like boutique stays, but not just look and feel. Airbnb now has hotels and motels and bed and breakfast. They have absolutely everything on Airbnb now. So you're not just competing against other Airbnb hosts, you are also competing against hotels on the Airbnb platform. So this is the Poconos and it is the wilderness, but we are not here to look like grandma's cabin. And I want you to remember that the Poconos, it's always evolving. It's always going to be a tourist industry. It's always going to be a place where people come to vacation. So there will always be vacation homes to be booked. But the ones who are going to do the best are the ones that are going to keep searching for information, trying to keep elevating their stays, listening, receiving feedback, and actually being constructive, taking constructive steps to do better, be better, and offer a better experience. Absolutely. So I wanted to leave you with just a little bit of homework, just a little bit. And I want everyone to choose just one thing that you can improve in your business
Before next New Year.
in the new year. One thing that you can improve in your business in the new year, such as town hall meetings. As the volunteer community leader for Airbnb, I am at them and I'm begging you, come join me. Come, let's go down to the town hall and let's let our voices be heard. Absolutely. Schedule those deep cleans. That is definitely homework. If not every month, at least schedule your first one. And once you see how sparkling and clean it is, you're just going to want to keep going. Tighten up your listing. So do a check, edit your description, look at your photos, make sure that they really are showing off the best angles of your home and that they're up to date. Absolutely. If you've changed any couches or the layout, absolutely update your photos as soon as possible. And then connecting with other hosts. You can always learn any connecting with other hosts. You can learn a plethora of information just by reaching out and attending one of Airbnb's quarterly host meetings, which we are going to be doing in 2 weeks, and reaching out, talking to your fellow neighbors, and just trying to keep learning and honing in on your craft.
Absolutely. This is such a great session, Jenny. Well done. I think that I like that you kept the topic tight because there's probably 100 things you could talk about, but I think you really picked some core items that are going to help. Again, everybody taking incremental steps to make their property and their STR owner experience or manager experience just more profitable in the new year. I have a couple questions for you. And I love the idea of scheduling in those deep cleans. Are you suggesting or do you think that owners need to like block a day and close it to make sure it happens? Or are you like, oh, just see what day is open and make it happen and hope it happens? Like what have you done to make sure that it happens?
So I forecast. I love data and numbers. So I'll look and see which day of the week for this specific unit doesn't book as much as the rest. And then we will block that one out. So we'll always take the lowest ticket day. Usually it's a Tuesday, Wednesday, or a Thursday. And we'll block that one out and we'll have a cleaning party. Turn on some music with the cleaners and really just get everything done that we need to. So
I love it. So your maintenance checklists and things like that, you try and bang it out in like one day a month.
yep, one day a month. That's what I try and do. So the quarterly outside, yes, for the big items, but even just walking around outside and picking up sticks and making sure that none of your pavers have shifted and are now going to create a tripping hazard. Just taking some extra time. I've even suggested to hosts to book an overnight stay to take that day on a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, stay overnight and feel how comfortable is the bed? Are you missing
Mhm.
the wine opener? Do you have all the lids for your pots and pans? Like these are the things that you wouldn't know unless you stayed there. So I think that's a good idea too.
So smart. Very good idea. So pricing, that was so spot on. And I had a question about so Airbnb's pricing tool.
Mhm.
Is that something that hosts pay for, or is that part of your like the when you list on Airbnb, they can help you find the best price?
Right. So it's included. You don't have to pay for it. What in your listing in the pricing drop down, you can just click a toggle button and it will turn on for you. But make sure that you keep an eye on it because although it's within a range, they can still make any choice they want. So keep an eye on it if you decide to use it.
Do you recommend like using outside tools? Like, because there's a lot of AI tools other than Airbnbs. Is maybe Airbnb a starting point? And if you like dynamic pricing, maybe you look to some of the other like Price Labs or other tools that are out there.
Yeah. So Airbnb has been taking great strides trying to make sure that they have their automated messaging on point and that they have everything that they need for you to manage many different listings. So this pricing strategy, like I said, the automated messages that go out, they're trying to have a channel manager within Airbnb so you don't have to pay for it. But there, of course, are other platforms that offer this that are very, very good. So there is the free version, and it is fantastic for just starting.
Yep.
And if you do decide as you're getting more comfortable with it that you really want to hone in and sharpen your craft, you can check out AirDNA or Price Labs, and they do free trials. Just remember to
Oh,
cancel
that's a good
before.
point. So, and the other thing I was thinking of as you were saying that, and I loved there are times where how much revenue you need to generate. And I want to be getting $300 a night,
Right,
but maybe my amenities aren't up to snuff. So
right,
what, and there's some things you can do and some things you can't. Like I can't add a fourth bedroom. I
right.
I can maybe add an outdoor spa, and you have to sort of weigh those things. So what are the top amenities that without hiring a building contractor, a plumber, or an electrician, what are the things that you can do that are going to put that you can charge for? Like if you put in this thing, you can charge more money.
So I wouldn't necessarily say if it wasn't plumbing, electrical,
Yeah, that may have been a push.
right, that's a push because the biggest amenities that people search for are Wi-Fi, kitchens, hot tubs, EV chargers, and saunas. So
That's good to
all of
know.
that is basically plumbing, electrical, that's all. So most everyone has kitchens and Wi-Fi, but the
But
EV
if I'm
charger,
charging
right,
$200 a night, if I put it in the EV charger, I can charge 210.
right, right.
Okay. So
But
now,
something more simple would be if you could work with a local chef who would want to do meals prepared in your house and you can link those two together, then you're going to get a kickback from when they book with him to have or her to have the meals prepared in house. So I would suggest doing add-on services instead of because
as
so
a way to elevate the stay.
exactly. Exactly. So add-on services or even like I said during the week, thinking about different groups that you can book to, not necessarily overnight stays.
Wow. So by the way, that topic is an actual topic on our program at the upcoming Pocono STR conference coming up
Awesome.
March 5th.
I'll
The
be
the idea of the add-on type services and that can elevate a stay. So it's fun that that ended up getting touched on here. So one of the other things I was thinking of at the end when you were talking about underestimating what guests want, one of the things that can be fun is whenever it is you are to go all in and own it. So like maybe guests aren't looking for kitschy unless you own kitschy. And then
right,
like you're the house that's decorated year round for Christmas
right. So
or
we are
something.
seeing a huge uptick in themed stays. So, for
Hmm.
example, I know that there's this really popular Harry Potter stay out in San Francisco that I've been dying to go to. But there are so many other ones. There's the Pocono
Yeah.
Castle that I have heard of. And then there are some houses that their entire client base, they are marketing to bachelorette parties, let's just say. And they make this house the place for bachelorettes to come and have a weekend at girls' house. So it's all neon pink and fuzzy carpets and tropical outdoor palm trees that are fake. And they're just going all in on these themed
Like
stays. So
like
absolutely.
totally. own it. And again, these are the sorts of things that people are going to share on Instagram and they're going to talk about it and it become like so I love that idea. And I think you really nailed it when you were saying people are looking for experiences, something that's not normal. It's like if I go out to eat at a restaurant, I want to eat something that I don't cook at home.
Yep.
Well, it's the same thing when you go and stay. If I'm paying money to stay somewhere else,
Yep.
and that's where like I've heard some of the good designers talk about it, and you're designing entirely differently for a short-term rental than you are for a house you live in. And nobody's installing rock walls in their house, but
Exactly.
you
But they are
may
here in the Poconos.
in Poconos, you might just want to do that. But I love that idea of the bachelorette. As long as you can get your neighbors on board and explain to them how this won't affect their world. I think if you can do it and you can not piss people off, that's a great market to own.
Absolutely.
Even for bachelor parties and to have relationships with limo services and go all manly with dead animal heads on the walls or something. It's a
Yeah.
good one. Very funny. Well, is there anything that we've talked about that you want to emphasize or add to? The one thing I do want to point out to everyone, I loved your suggestion that connecting with others is big and finding local meetup groups and community, find your people, whether it's for just networking sake, but also for education. And of course, the Poconos VRO is for that. We do have webinars and master classes. And we do have our annual conference. It's always in March. So it's March 5th of 2026. So depending on when you're watching this, you can definitely go to poconostrconference.com and see if you can learn from experts like Jenny, and hopefully you'll even see Jenny there. But is there anything else that you would like to mention as we close out this session?
Just that you can do it. I know sometimes having a business, especially one as hands on as this, can feel overwhelming or tedious, or if you're just getting started, it feels daunting. But the reward is there. And it warms my heart every time I get a glowing review or I get the chance to meet the guests and have a quick conversation with them. The connection is irreplaceable. So keep going. It's amazing. I have trust and I have faith in you, and I can't wait to see all the amazing listings that are going to be coming up.
Well, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for the super valuable information. And thanks to everyone who's watching this lightning chat. We hope you like them and come back to see more little quick informational snippets where we can help you be your best self. So thanks again, Jenny, and have a great day.